Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Wednesday, July 30th. And we're caught in a heat wave, tropical heat wave. Woo! It's hot up here. I don't have air conditioning up here, so I got to stay cool because what's going on makes me really hot. And we have with us again, honored to be with him, a man of men. Nobody, anywhere, any place in America, if you can find, you let me know, that knows the Constitution and the Bill of Rights better than Judge Andrew Napolitano. And week after week, he keeps publishing articles about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and how we're losing our freedom and how the president of the United States is becoming nothing more than a dictator. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm saying that. Judge, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure to be with you, my dear friend. I missed you. As you know, I was in our homeland for 10 days, and I thought of you as I traveled about. And I kept looking at my watch on Wednesday saying, I should be with Gerald. I should be with Gerald right now.
They made up this thing. Matter of fact, Naomi Wolf disparaged it as well, a Jewish woman, about this, that Jewish people are the chosen people. She said, that's not what God means. God means the chosen people are people that live to the spirit of their God. And it has nothing to do with, chosen people. But by the way, us being Italian, we're the chosen people.
Wow. Well, listen,
who eats like we do,
Right. If you listen to Tucker Carlson ripping apart Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz actually said, the Israel about which God spoke in the Old Testament is the same Israel governed by Benjamin Netanyahu today, and Christians are commanded to follow it. This is hogwash that Americans actually believe this stuff.
And these little clown boys spewing out this crap. Look at that guy, Ted Cruz. A little piece of nothing. How about that guy Fine?
Oh, this bloated young man is a member of Congress from a Republican, I believe, from Florida, who actually said, I have it right here, Gerald, what he said. It's not really believable what he said. Bear with me for a minute. Didn't know this was going to come up. All right, I don't have it. Let them starve or starve away.
Yep.
Absolutely outrageous, immoral, obsequious support of Prime Minister Netanyahu's program of starvation. And Netanyahu, of course, is the only person on the planet that I've heard say there is no starvation. Nobody's starving.
Yep.
Even Trump, who funded the genocide, who pays for the slaughter, said they're starving. Even Trump said that. Now,
finally,
in my opinion, he's grossly disingenuous. This hand-wringing was absurd. He could stop it with a phone call. But the fact that he recognized it and said it in public, to me is very telling.
In your Trends Journal this week, and by the way, here's the cover. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not see the cover. Oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. I forgot. How could I miss that one? Yes. Their lawyer is a longtime friend of mine and a superb lawyer, Tom Clare. The guy suing Candace Owens.
Isn't that funny? Don't call it. And again, we'll go back to this, but how about suing this woman for saying this? How about, because he says she's lying? How come nobody ever sued George W. Bush or Dick Cheney for lying us into wars, right, when all the facts were there that Iraq had no weapons of mass destruction?
Right.
How about suing them?
Right.
But anyway, going back to that guy Fine, in your Trends Journal this week, the article that you were looking up, here's the article in the Trends Journal this week, that Trump-backed Randy Fine gets seat on House Foreign Affairs Committee after urging Israel, quote, to starve away the Palestinians inside Gaza.
This is the mentality of the Republicans in the House of Representatives. Now, I'm not saying they're all in favor of starvation. But the fact that he was rewarded with a coveted seat on a coveted committee in response to that statement, he should actually have been censured by the House for suggesting that a foreign country whose government we fund should violate all standards of international law by starving people to death. The number of dead is now up to 60,000, 45,000 of whom are women and children.
A lot of the articles that our friend, a real man, Phil Giraldi, a former CIA guy that went into George Bush's office and showed him proof there were no weapons of mass destruction, and Bush told him to leave the office. And Giraldi, being the true man that he is, he quit the CIA. And the article in this week's Trends Journal from Phil Giraldi is patriotic films about Israeli slaughter of Palestinians are coming. And Giraldi notes that the real numbers of dead are in the hundreds of thousands. There are still people buried under the rubble, people seriously wounded. And Lancet came out with an article. I'm going back.
Lancet's number is about 180,000, if I'm correct.
Yeah. And that was several months ago.
Correct. And Lancet, for viewers that are unfamiliar with it, is the leading British publication from a medical perspective. This is not a political publication.
Yep. So sad. But there's
beginning to be a crack. I mean, France announced, I'm not a fan of Macron, but France announced it's going to recognize a Palestinian state. The Brits, with their typical waffling, said they will by September unless Netanyahu stops the starvation and stops the war. Now, none of this will mean anything because the U.S. will veto it at the Security Council, but maybe a groundswell for doing the right thing is beginning to develop.
Even the mainstream media now is finally showing the horror of it, like in the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, which we subscribe to because we want to know everything that's going on. And now they're showing, the pictures that they weren't showing before. I mean, and again, what's taking everybody so long? I mean, was this war going on, 1 year, 9 months or something? And now they're finally saying that they demolished the whole damn place. They bombed it to ruins.
Correct. The infrastructure is almost totally destroyed. They bombed a Roman Catholic church. They've destroyed all the roads, highways, about 90% of the residential dwellings, all the schools, mosques, and hospitals.
Yeah. I mean, it's a horror.
And now he doesn't want food, water, or medicine to get in. In the United States and Israel, which is basically CIA and Mossad, formed this humanitarian organization, which is an absolute joke, according to our friend Max Blumenthal. It actually stops more aid from coming in than it facilitates. It's just a front so that they can lie and claim that they're helping feed the people they're trying to annihilate.
Yep. No,
Why don't you stop the annihilation, Mr. President? Why don't you tell Bibi enough is enough? Why don't you stop all the killing and the slaughter, Mr. President?
You mean the president that bombed Iran?
Yes.
The president that lied his way into office that said he was for peace?
Yes.
He's going to bring peace on that president?
The president that will probably follow Gerald Celenti's admonition, which is if the Epstein thing gets too bad, take the U.S. to war.
That's right. Judge, you have an article coming out. And everybody, by the way, the people that Judge Napolitano has on his show, Judging Freedom.
Giraldi's on with me today. Phil is on today, and Colonel McGregor is on today. Two superstars.
Yep. Two real men. And again, both of these guys have been on the other side. Colonel McGregor.
Right.
He's seen it. Phil Giraldi at CIA got top cat. He sees it. You wouldn't know what's going on unless you were on the other side.
Right.
And that's why I know what I know. I was on the other side at one time. And these guys that Judge Napolitano has on, the women and men, like nothing else. And Judge Napolitano writes articles each week and really a lot about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And you have an article coming out, and this is, what's going on today. Can the president impose taxes? This week, the United States Court of Appeals, the Federal Circuit, which sits right below the Supreme Court, is hearing a case of profound constitutional importance. It is the government's appeal of a ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade, which found that President Donald Trump's unilateral imposition of tariffs on certain goods entering the United States from certain foreign countries is unconstitutional.
It's pretty basic. And the court actually laughed at the Justice Department. It's pretty basic that under the Constitution, only Congress can impose tariffs. Tariffs per se are not unconstitutional, but they can only be imposed by Congress because a tariff is a sales tax and only Congress can impose taxes. Trump is using tariffs against people he hates. Trump is using tariffs in order to negotiate deals with people. Trump changes the rate on the tariffs all the time. This has a deleterious effect on the economy. I'm just talking about the constitutional aspects of it. The government argued that it's a case of foreign policy and the president can do whatever he wants in matters of foreign policy. And the court said, no, the president is subject to the Constitution, even in foreign policy. And tariffs are ultimately paid by the American people, a decision that only the Congress can make. That's probably going to be upheld by this court. We'll know from the oral argument tomorrow. And then the case will go to the Supreme Court, which basically has been letting Trump do whatever the hell he wants. But we'll see where this one goes.
You have some very important comments here that, about how the Constitution became what it is and where it's going. And you also write, when Congress looks the other way, as its powers are usurped by the executive, we are witnessing the systematic erosion of basic constitutional norms. The same Department of Justice that has made the absurd arguments in favor of presidentially imposed tariffs has defended masked men in the streets arresting folks without warrants, incarcerations without due process, and deportations without hearings, without a peep from Congress.
Without a peep from the Congress. The Congress has become supine. Do you know that there is legislation in the Congress to change the name of the Kennedy Center to the Trump Center and to carve another face on Mount Rushmore? And this supine Congress, filled with people like this bloated Randy Fine, will probably go along with it. Now, put aside Trump's vanity and put aside these things that they'll do to placate Trump's vanity. With respect to masked men arresting people in the streets without warrants, with respect to the presidentially imposed tariffs, Congress is just useless as a manifestation of defense of the Constitution and the will of the public. They're basically just sycophants to whatever Trump wants. The best thing that could happen to the country, I know I'm going to get in trouble with our Republican friends for saying this, would be for the Congress to go for the Democrats in the midterms. Otherwise, there's no stopping this guy.
Yeah, but again, the Democrats, I mean, but you were talking before you mentioned about Trump supporting the genocide going on in Gaza, supporting Israel. We only give them almost $4 billion a year. They steal our taxpayer money, brought to you by the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner Barack Obama. And how about Genocide Joe?
Right. Now, Bernie Sanders has condemned genocide yesterday. He's about a year and a half too late.
That's what I'm saying. What the hell's everybody waiting for? Again, it's not the Republicans or the Democrats. It's both of them.
Yes.
How about that little arrogant slime ball that we don't see anymore? Anthony Blinken. How about that little clown boy, the Secretary of State?
He's probably making a couple of million a year at some hedge fund in D.C.
Well, talking about making a couple of million a year. And by the way, everybody, we have these T-shirts to show you the way I feel about politicians.
Are you selling those?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So we're talking about low-life pieces of crap and the politicians. How about this guy? Democrat. I got this shirt, Judge, made when Clinton ran in 1992.
Wow. You were
Slick Willie.
as you often are, you were prescient.
So talking about money, you know how much this clown boy is worth now? About $160 million.
Wow.
You Google it up. A little boy of nothing. A little piece of nothing. Obama, what's Obama worth now? A little nothing from what? It was a congressman, or not a. It was in the House, in Illinois.
The Illinois State Legislature.
Yeah. Oh, brought to you by the Pritzkers. Oh, the Pritzkers, the guy, you mean the Hyatt people?
Yes, the guy that's the governor of Illinois and wants to succeed Trump.
Yeah. And now how much is Obama worth now? A little lying piece of scum. Again, this is the guy that lied his way into office. All about peace, peace, peace. The Iraq war is going on. What does he do as soon as he gets in? Afghan troop surge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that guy, who was the clown boy that now is with KKR?
General Petraeus.
Yeah. No, betrayed us.
Yes.
General betrayed us. All these arrogant pieces of scum running a country near you. And that's why you got to go to Judging Freedom, because Judge Napolitano has the people on it there that call them out with facts, as we do with the Trends Journal. Judge, this article that you have is very important about the Constitution, and you write about them each week. And you go on to say, there was a time when Congress maintained independence and steadfastly guarded its constitutional prerogatives. There was a time when presidents enforced constitutional provisions, even if they disagreed with them. Those times are history. These times are dangerous.
Well, it is dangerous when the government runs roughshod over the Constitution, and regrettably, all three branches are doing it. The judiciary, the most reluctant, the president, the most enthusiastic, and the Congress just looking the other way, day after day after day. Last night, they confirmed one of Trump's former lawyers to a lifetime judgeship on the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit. He's about to be disbarred. He's about to be disbarred, and they knew it, and they confirmed him anyway by a vote of 50-49.
And you look at the guy. Look what he looks like. Judge, thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. Remember, go to Judging Freedom if you want to know about the facts going on from the top cats and kittens in the business that know what's going on in those fields. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Gerald. Always a pleasure, my dear friend. See you next week.
All right.